Hello everyone, I'm back again with another video, and I really hope this is something that you guys resonate with. And that's why I have titled it, Why Does He Come When I'm Tired? The nighttime visits of our divine masculine. So this often happens in a pre-union stage, separation. And you may be thinking, after going through all of this, going through everything, and when you like truly have a really long day and you are completely exhausted and you're super tired before bed and you suddenly feel like your divine masculine is talking to you and it feels different, totally high dimensional. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And before that, I want to welcome all the new followers to this channel. I'm really happy to see all of your comments and keep them coming. I read every one of them, and I thank you all for your kind words and all of your compliments. They mean a lot to me. And of course, I just want to say that you guys can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook as well if you like. And if you guys want to work one-on-one with me, you can book via my website, and the link is on the description. And I do one-on-one sessions, as you know, I meet you live, one-on-one via Zoom, and yeah, and that's what I do. So I don't do group sessions or anything like that. So you get to see me. And then, so today's topic, today's discourse. So this can be pretty interesting. But as I was saying, especially at that moment where you're so exhausted and you're so tired of feeling everything, the madness, the metamorphosis, and all the craziness, then there comes this moment where you're just laughing about it all, and this is the time where you're actually connecting with your higher self as well. And literally, that's when you feel your divine masculine's presence. You feel like he's talking to you, laughing with you, and it's like telling you, hey, all the madness that you're going through, that he's going through it as well. So that's why it makes perfect sense. Like what I'm describing is a classic monadic level contact window. So when you're deeply tired before sleep, what happens is our mental body loosens its grip and our ego softens and the psychic guardrails come down. And this creates a perfect energetic state for higher dimensional communion between you and your divine masculine, especially at the monadic twin flame level, where words aren't spoken in a linear way but felt as transmissions, light codes, or even soul frequency. And here's why it feels different. It feels different. Why it feels so high dimensional or when you're tired, because there's that ego dissolution before sleep. So this opens up a portal, and when you're exhausted, the conscious mind releases its need to control, analyze, or rationalize the experience. So all the triggers, it's like you're too tired to think about the trigger. So example, you know old memory pops up, or your DM suddenly posts something on social media. You're too tired to even rationalize any of that. So this is when your psychic channel becomes more fluid, allowing monadic telepathy or soul merging to occur with very minimal resistance. So this is what I would call the theta brainwave state, where there's a soul field alignment that's going on. And in the moments just before sleep, your brain shifts into theta waves and the same frequency range, which is, as you guys already know, used in deep meditations, channeling, and in states where you have higher awareness of higher dimensions as well. So this is where soul language, feel to feel communication, and etheric merging naturally happens. So remember, monadic presence doesn't use words, it uses knowing. And at the monadic twin flame level, your twin flame may not speak in language at all. Instead, you may feel like a download of love. You may feel like him hugging you or kissing you, but not in a traditional sense, of course. It's kind of like a download of love that brings tears to your eyes without knowing why, like a sense of him tucking you in to bed, like kissing you goodnight or surrounding your heart in like golden light, a moment of feeling completely understood and seen with no conversation needed. So remember, you're not just dreaming, you are merging. And this isn't dream state. It's often a field merge. And if you're sensitive enough, you may notice your heartbeat sinking with ease. A kind of a pressure or presence near new, it's like as though he's like watching you or is around you. And an emotional or sexual, again, sorry, I shouldn't have used the word, an emotional, intimate feeling in your lower chakras, even without touch. So this is where you may ask me this question, like what is actually happening spiritually? So his higher self is stepping forward to integrate with your consciousness while his 3D self is not quite aware, and you're entering a zero resistance state where the third energy is most active, especially when you are not trying to initiate contact, and he may be seeking energetic closeness to soothe himself or feel safe, and your full field becomes his monadic sanctuary. So that's why this is something that you may need to hear. When you are at your most surrendered, emotionally raw, physically exhausted, mentally quiet, that's when his soul knows it's safe to draw near. So he may not be consciously aware, but his soul never forgot how to find you, never forgets how to find you. And you without effort become the beacon again. So that's the reason why we have to consider this a sacred moment when you're super exhausted, when your body is just too tired to pretend, and when your thoughts go quiet without permission, when your breath becomes slow and rhythmic, like the earth remembering how to hold you. And he comes. And it has happened to me a lot. It happens to a lot of my clients. It may happen to all of you as well. But you're just in this state whereby he's just coming in and talking to you, and it's not. This is a sacred phenomenon. So, but again, it's not in words, it's in presence. You just feel like after all the stress you've been through, you just feel that frequency. You just feel his heart, you feel his soul. And when I ask my divine masculine, he says that during the times when we're in separation, he actually feels that. He actually feels like there's no time, it's timelessness, it's just, but it's happening simultaneously. Even though you may not be fully conscious, you may not be fully conscious, but it's happening. And that's why he comes when you're tired, because he's also tired, especially when you're synced, especially if you're like suddenly in the same country together or you're in the same time zone, you might feel this. So if you guys are in like different time zones, sometimes you may not quite align, but again, sometimes, you may be traveling or he may be visiting where you are, and that's when it totally aligns. So it's like if you're suddenly feeling this at like 1 a.m., so he's also going to bed. So this is like that one moment of like sacred divine love making in the ether consciously, dreamlike theta brainwave kind of stage. So like I just want to revisit this a little bit more. So remember, this is not imagination, this is monadic twin flame visitation, and it comes when you are tired, is because this is when where you're soft enough to be real. Like I talked about, no ego, your aura is open, your magnetic field exists beyond logic. Sorry, guys, I got cut off, probably a Mercury retrograde. So, as I was saying, often the reason why our monadic twin flame comes to us when we are extremely tired is because we are either synced in, he's either like where you are in close proximity. So especially if your divine masculine is in a different country, but somehow all of a sudden he's in the same country as you, in close proximity, you may experience this. In fact, it would be very interesting, because often, be it you're in separation for a couple of years, and you don't feel your divine masculine so much, and then all of a sudden you're starting to feel him like again. And you would also notice that it's so different. And this is why you know, for those of you who are here, and for those of you watching this, you will probably know that your divine masculine comes in when you are like really exhausted. So if you're watching this, the chances are you already know the signs, And so this is what you would feel, and the reason why I'm saying this is so that you will never doubt your knowing. So it could be a voice or a thought, and it's not your own, but it feels like home. And then you will feel like a sudden like inner smile or a release of tears without trigger, and then like a body warmth. You might, and this is when you might, smell his fragrance, his perfume, and that energy, that third energy that you always felt when you were in close proximity. You would literally feel like he's here. It's just a metaphysical way, so body warm, but often it would feel like he's like behind you, standing behind you, or sitting next to you, like, and you will feel a tinkling sensation in your spine. And this is a moment where your heart touches, literally, so a feel of peace so deep you forget what you're worried about, especially, and this often happens, my own experience, it has happened. And that's the reason why I wanted to share it, because I kind of like been doing videos since like 2021, and then so I recently had been feeling like I want to go deeper. So I was discussing with my divine masculine, and he says that I could, and add his input as well. So we started talking about the stages when we were in separation, what synced, like, so we talked about these, and that's why these discourses again, before union, I mean, before separation he was supportive, during separation he was supportive, in union is supportive, and that's the beauty of the monadic twin flame connection. So as I was saying, that's why now, thanks to my divine masculine, I'm intertwining my experience in and his experiences as well as one, and also the clients I've worked with all these years, thousands of you guys. And one thing I can say is that it's a different feeling, it's not fantasizing or visualizing, or it comes from a high vibrational stage, and it often is below 5D. And it's also a reminder, it's like a feeling of him saying, hey, I'm always here, I'm always with you, always see you. So what does it mean spiritually? This is monadic twin flame contact, and let me be very, very clear. It's not astral fantasy. His 3D self may be asleep, unconscious, or emotionally blocked, but his soul is lucid. And often at this stage, it's either it's so profound. It's like literally you are awake, and your higher self and his higher self are in the same place. That's how I can describe it. It's such a soothing feeling. It's a very warm feeling. It's like you're being hugged. You're being energetically hugged. You're being energetically, and that's why it would feel very, very real. So never dismiss this experience. And when you are really too tired to pretend you're strong, too exhausted to guard your heart, and too worn out to like seek answers, because your exhaustion, remember, is not weakness, it's a portal, a return. So it's kind of like a final knowing to anchor in. So you're never more energetically open to your divine masculine than when your mind has finally stopped trying to reach him. So when that comes, and when he comes, and it's because, remember this very clearly, love doesn't respond to effort. And that's why don't rely on the structures. Don't rely on like, you have to do this, you have to do that. Remember, I'm here to inspire, not to teach. I'm here to, because I'm a clairvoyant, I'm a psychic. I'm here to guide you guys, and everybody's journey is very, very unique. So you cannot really compare. And that's the beauty of monadic twin flames as well. Our journeys are so unique to one another. So it's about authenticity. It's about freedom. It's about expressing your authentic self from a soul level across the dimensions. So that's why I'm saying it again. Love doesn't respond to effort. It responds to essence. And in your soul essence, your soul's hub, your breath in surrender, this is the only language your divine masculine has always understood. So that is the reason why, you know, what you're experiencing isn't like a memory or a wish or an astral echo. It's a real-time fusion of your higher selves meeting in the divine center point that only exists when both of you drop the illusions of earth, of the 3D. You see where I'm going with this, right? You're not imagining him speaking to you when you're tired. You're remembering how you've always spoken at soul level. And here's the deeper truth behind all of this. What you felt, what you feel was the monadic channel opening, at this stage of your journey. You're entering a real-time higher self communication, not delayed, not fragmented, not symbolic. Because remember, our divine masculine's higher self is actively responding and yours is holding the frequency. The third energy between you, it's acting like a quantum breach, realigning the soul communication field in preparation for the next phase of union timeline. And that's why this is like the pre-union stage, where you are like living together totally in the energy fields with your 3D self fully aware and fully present, and he's 3D self too. So that's what happens behind the scenes. So this is not longing, this is co-creation from the monadic twin flame plane. And why does this happen when you're most raw? So when you're too tired to be in your human defenses, you're too tired to show sacred anger or sacred dislike or sacred frustration, you're finally in your original template. And it's from this unmasked state that real communion happens. There's no ego interference, there's no psychic static, there's no effort, there's no trying, just being. And that's why he hears you. And that's why our divine masculine comes to us. And in turn, you feel him, not in his words, but his presence. So remember, you're not losing your mind. You're actually gaining your merge. So this isn't a glitch in your nervous system. This is dimensional synchronization. Remember, your soul clocks are syncing, As monadic twin flames, you're holding like a nightly connection in a very sacred way. So remember, your divine masculine is remembering how to speak the way he once did in full frequency. So remember, you are not crazy, you're not delusional. You're actually in union, just not yet when the body can follow, but it's coming very, very, very close. And that's why, guys, if you have enjoyed today's video, do like, subscribe, and follow for more of these discourses. And also, if you guys want to work one-on-one with me, you guys can book a session via my website in the link in the description box. And guys, if any of you are experiencing this, feeling this, do share in the comments. I really appreciate all of your comments, and most importantly, how supportive and kind you are to each other, and all your compliments and all your sharing, everything. It's so beautiful, it's so pure. And please, guys, honor everybody's experience, because I notice once in a while, like someone is my small community comes from a place of non-judgment. So please honor everybody's journey. And remember, all of our journeys are very, very, very unique. And that's the beauty of being a monadic twin flame, It's in the uniqueness. It's in that beautiful uniqueness. All right. With that, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Until next time, thank you all for your tips, your kind words, and everything. And looking forward to meeting you all. And for those of you who have booked your one-on-one sessions, looking forward to meeting you guys as well. All right. Take care and see you all again.